Well, hello everyone, Bill here. So here we are in session 2 of our international travel pre-prep series. And tonight I think could be used for domestic or international and, a little wide ranging. I had a great conversation today with a friend and partner of mine, and we were talking about some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight and really got into a fantastic conversation that lasted well over an hour and a half of around what type of traveler are you really? So I want to get into that, and I'll put some helping text from some websites onto the site to kind of help you determine. And if you're like me, you're probably a few pieces of a few of these, but it kind of gives you an idea for where things are at. So first, let's talk a little bit about session 2, the key tools as you're developing your international travel. The first thing you have to figure out is how much time do you have? And that might be predicated on any number of things. It might be predicated on your budget, of how much money you have that you can spend on this, how much resources, how many of your resources can you use for this. You might be restricted by your job. Your job may only allow you a certain number of days of getaway or vacation. Or just might be also your ability to handle amount of time. My wife and I are going to be going for 24, 25 days. That's the longest my wife will have traveled away from home. And it'll be interesting to see if and how much it wears her down. Just the basic things of travel, not sleeping in your own bed, strange food, things like that. It'll be something I'm watching for carefully. But the amount of time you have is key, because once you know the amount of time you have, you can go to the next level and say, okay, based on what I have for time, what would I prioritize, what I want to see? And we're talking about something like the United Kingdom, when you have Scotland and Wales and England, you could certainly spend a lot more than 24 days there. But if I was just quick prioritizing, everyone would have to say London, you'd have to say Bath, the Cotswolds, the Lake District, maybe sprinkle a little bit of Liverpool if that's for you, some York. And then, of course, you've got Wales. You've got northern and southern Wales, very different places. I'm going to spend most of my time in northern Wales. Well, you certainly have northern and southern, they're both beautiful. And Scotland, went through Edinburgh and Glasgow and all that area up through Loch Ness and Inverness, if that's an area you want to get up to. So determine what you want to see. And then do your best to look at some different resources of the number of days that you might want to spend in a certain area. I do a lot of searching for like 2 or 3 days in blank, and let the internet show you what might be there, and does it kind of fit the pace that you want to travel and what you want to see. Now, we were talking today, I think that travelers oversimplified come on 2 extremes. And on one extreme, and this is the part on the side of the equation you'll find me. Well, let me go do it by the way. Let's go the other way. This is the side you won't find me. And this is the very free-spirited traveler. I have friends that will go on vacation and not know where they're going to sleep. Literally every day they go into a new city, they'll do some research, they get really good at understanding what time of the day you call to see if a hotel room is available. That's something that caught your eye. They have no restaurant set. They don't have tickets bought to things. They're very, very much play it by ear. There's a spontaneity to that. There's a freedom to that. And for me, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I find that if I can remove most of the stress out of my travel, it opens me up to other good things that can happen. So if you have on one side the complete free spirit, the complete renegade that does their own stuff, on the other side you've got the highly structured, overdone. And some of us go to travel agents to help do this for us. Go to a travel agent, they'll lay everything out. You almost get a book where it's turned page by page. Certainly AAA and things like that can help you on driving vacations. But for me, it's more like, do I have what I call prophets or saints? Do I have people, mentors, other travelers that I have found fit with their description, things that I want to do? Many of them write for a living. Some of my greatest patron saints, my prophets, if you will, would be people like Rick Steves in Europe. Rick just seems to understand, for a person like me, and for many Americans, that it's not only being told what's there, but what is worth seeing in his opinion. He's not afraid to give you his opinion, very upright, and he gives you reasons why. You may agree, you may disagree. You may go there and say that didn't match up to his 2 diamonds or 3 diamonds. But for me, when you compare Rick versus someone like a Froders or a Foamers, I use them a lot more to just get a feel for the lay of the land. But I turn to people like the St. Rick Steves, or the folks at Lonely Planet. The Lonely Planet guides fit my type of travel eye better, and so they're an excellent source. There's others. There's Hidden series, and there's 1,000 different series. But if you're like me and you're more on that side that looks for that travel, that help, that ability to deepen your experience, I would go in that direction. Because all of us would fall into what this website called Itinerary, or ITNERY, says that there's 10 basic types of travelers. And these are personal travelers. Take the business people aside. This is personal travelers. And to list these out, and I'll put some information on the website. See which of these is yours. And which one do you think is most appropriate or most lines up with you? Again, for me, I found at least 2 and perhaps 3 that were more aligned with how I am as a traveler. Now, here are the 10 types as identified by this website. The first is a collector. The second is a conformer. The third is a thrill seeker. The fourth is a survivor. Next up is the self-improvement traveler, or the pilgrim traveler, or the pioneer traveler. Then there's the occasional traveler, the occasionally traveler, the unforgettable traveler, and the inquisitive traveler. So make sure you see after this video, take a look at the post, see as I put some descriptions of each of those in there to see which one is yours. So I certainly fall into the collector, pilgrim, and maybe a little bit of the inquisitive traveler. And so for the rest of these sessions, we're going to walk through the 24 days, and we're going to build out where are we staying, what might we see, what might we eat, and when do we make reservations for these things to try to lock in the best opportunities and the best adventures and the best experiences that we possibly have. So glad you came along for the ride. I look forward to seeing your comments as we go through this. And I hope you enjoy the 2 parts. One, we'll actually build the trip, and then obviously when we're there, we'll report on the trip and see how that comes together. Okay, until next time, enjoy.